Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Just thought I'd do a little match reaction. Aston Villa away at weekend. Very disappointing result for City. It's mad because, you know, these days draws, sometimes they feel like a loss. But yeah, I was confident going into the game. You know, we was on a really good run. Haaland was on fire. Drove down there early morning. Parked up. Nice boozer just down the road from the away end, the Witten Arms. Went in there. Great atmosphere. City fans were on top voice. A few new tunes bouncing about and that. Seen some good faces, some regular faces. Yeah, the atmosphere was building up nicely. City fans were confident. Few Villa fans we spoke to on the way in weren't so confident. Obviously, Steven Gerrard's had a bad start there this season. They were desperate for points. But sometimes that's not a good thing, you know what I mean? These teams, early days, if they're fighting for their lives, obviously with a manager like Steven Gerrard, who was a massive man motivator and a captain and a leader, you know, sometimes he can get a tune out of his team, even though they're down on their knees. Sometimes managers like that can bring them back up. So, you know, I go in the ground, I'm still confident, you know what I mean? I look at the team, no real surprises. Only real surprise for me was that Alvarez wasn't starting. I thought he had a great game against Forest. Really unlucky, got 2 goals. Really unlucky not to start, but I understand Pep's thinking in it. You know what I mean? He's wrapping him in cotton wool a little bit. Foden on the left, Haaland up front, Bernardo on the right, KDB, Rodri, Gundogan, usual back 4, Cancelo, left back, Diaz, Stones, Walker, Edison. So looking at that team, you know, you're confident. Game starts. We've got a lot of possession. Manchester City, you know, we are that team. We keep the ball really well. But it was a little bit slow for me. It was a little bit slow. I thought that Villa were pressing really well. Even though they didn't have the ball, they were cutting down the angles. They were pressing us. The ball was getting out to Phil. They were on him straight away, forcing him to come back inside. Same with Bernardo on the other side. He was getting forced back a lot, you know what I mean, into the middle. KDB was dropping deeper for the ball, trying to win it. So first half, you know, we're knocking it about well, but we just can't finish. It's like we're huffing and puffing. We finally get the breakthrough. Kyle Walker goes through. All you're thinking in your mind is square it to Haaland again. He taps this in. If it's any other player other than Kyle Walker, if it's Alvarez, if it's Foden, if it's De Bruyne, if it's Bernardo, if it's Mahrez or any of them, Gundo, you think, okay, he's took a shot. But Kyle Walker, Kyle, I love you, bro, but come on. Square the ball to Haaland. You're not that man. You ain't that man. Unless you drill it as hard as you can, which you did, and it hit someone in the third tier of the alt end, you need to calm it down, man. People were saying there was offsides and all that in the build-up. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, from my opinion, being in there, we needed to he needed to square it to Haaland for me. I thought the tempo was slow. I thought that we couldn't get going. We kept knocking it around at the back. It was getting passed around the back 4, back to Edison, you know, out to Cancelo, into Stones back to Edison. It was we just basically didn't have the tempo what we had against Forest. But a lot of that for me is down to Aston Villa. I think you've got to give them credit. I think they had a rocket off Gerrard. He's obviously got into him. I thought Douglas Luiz was working hard in the middle. Good player. A lot of City fans think we should have bought him back when we had the option. Looking at it now, yeah, you know, the way Calvin Phillips is getting injuries and things like that. Someone like Douglas Luiz, who Arsenal was after, I think he'd have done well for us, you know what I mean? But we move. So half-time, we go in at 0-0. Still confident, not really worried about Aston Villa. Didn't really think they created an awful lot. There was the odd time where Watkins would get through, but City sort of coped with him well. So half time 0-0, you're thinking, yeah, it's a game of patience from City. We've seen it at West Ham. You know what I mean? We've got to wait our time, bide our time. Sooner enough, Haaland's going to get a chance. It's going to be in. So second half starts, much of the same, really. You know, City's keeping a lot of the ball. Finally, Kevin De Bruyne down the right-hand side, right in front of the City fans. It's a beautiful cross, and I mean it's a beautiful cross. The goalkeeper's caught in no man's land, drops to the back post, and who's there? The Nordic meat shield taps it in, bang, 1-0. City end is up, there's limbs everywhere, people jumping on the pitch, getting nicked. You know, it was great scenes. You know what I mean? Haaland again. You know what I mean? His 10th goal in 9 games. It's just, you know, it's so early in the season, but the guy's getting lauded all over. He's a monster. And I thought he had a good game. I thought he dropped deep a few times. I thought he laid the ball off a few times. Him and Tyrone Mings were having a real tussle. And it looked like they were enjoying it, to be honest. Him and Mings were having a bit of a ding-dong and a bit of a laugh and a joke. There's a couple of times Haaland, you know, had a few snapshots, ricocheting off the keeper and defenders and that. He looked dangerous. So we're 1-0 up, and we just do not look like we're going to concede. We do not look like we're going to concede. I'm sat there, I'm confident. Yeah, we're not at the races. We're not playing well. We're not playing well. But did they look like scoring? No. Then what happens? Just as you've sat there thinking, come on, City, turn the screw, get a second. They go down the other end and they score. And to be fair to Villa, it was a good goal. You know what I mean? He plays the ball across, thinking Cello's asleep. Bailey gets in on him and just lashes it in past Ederson. Now he can do. So it's 1-1. And then you're starting to think, hold on a minute, the tails are up. The Villa fans were pretty quiet early doors. As you can imagine, City had the ball. When they got that goal, you know what I mean? They woke up a little bit and got behind the team. But looking at the City team, I thought for me, Gundogan wasn't at the races. I thought he looked a little bit tired, a little bit jaded. I thought the midfield was getting overrun a lot. I think we've seen this before with De Bruyne and Gundogan. It used to be they couldn't play together. It was either one or the other. Now he's made Gundogan captain. It's looking like Gundogan's going to play with him. And I think Pep's just like, look, you need to get used to each other. You need to do it. But for me, they're too similar. And I think Villa overran us a little bit in the second half. I think the midfield was easy to get through. I thought that Phil Foden didn't have a great game on the left. I think we needed it freshening up. I was surprised to see Mahrez come on for Bernardo, because I think Alvarez tempo and the running off the ball and the harassing of the back four, I think we needed it. I think if he brings Alvarez on in that game near the end, I think we win it. I think we win it. But I understand we've got Seville coming up, Champions League. I understand he's probably thinking about that. But Liverpool have dropped points early in the day. You know what I mean? They dropped points early in the day. I know they're a few points behind us, but they're the yardstick for me. They're going to get going soon. They're going to go on their run soon. They're going to get Núñez backfiring, and Liverpool are going to be a tough team to beat. We need to make sure, while we got the chance, that we can put a bit of daylight between them. So I think it's a missed opportunity. I think it is. I thought Mahrez coming on didn't up the tempo. He's the same sort of player. He brings it down. It's very, very slow build-up. He had a great chance at the back post. I think he was offside. He smashed it across goal. But yeah, you just couldn't see us scoring then. I know match of the day and things like that have been going on about this Coutinho goal, but to be honest, the Coutinho goal, the referee blew his whistle. City players stopped. John Stones moved his head out the way. Ederson didn't even go for it. So that's nonsense. You know what I mean? It's nonsense. If that's in play, you don't get that shot off. You know what I mean? You don't get that off. We had a good chance to win it near the end. Haaland got the ball, turned. He was going on a bit of a run to the edge of the box, just about to get his shot off. He's brought down. Free kick in a nice position. Kevin De Bruyne curls it over the wall. It's the crossbar. And then you're starting to think, is it one of them days? That's what I think. I've seen too many of these games over the years where We've forced it and we've been caught on the counter and we've lost. So I'm looking at it as a positive. I'm thinking it's a point. It's a point against an Aston Villa team fighting. Steven Gerrard, obviously, we've been into him all week in training. You could see that. Villa worked really, really hard, I thought. City's coming to town on the back of a 6-0 against Forest. They're coming to town with a big man up front who's on fire. So they did well to get a point. I mean, anyone that left Villa Park, on Saturday would realise that they thought they'd won the European Cup again. They were singing Champions of Europe. They'll never sing that. They were buzzing. I mean, come on. If you want to sing about European Cups and you want to be claimed as a massive club, then you shouldn't really be celebrating a 1-1 draw with Man City at home when you're near the bottom of the league. Come on, guys. It's Aston Villa. Great club. Great fans. Bit weird. Tyrone Mings telling Martinez to go down so Stevie G could have a little pep talk. I get that. It's football. It's mad. Villa played the game. And listen, I'm not going to... I've now to say, we went at the races. Aston Villa worked hard and they got a point. For me, I'm looking at it as a 2 points dropped. You know what I mean? When you're in a title race and you've been running with Liverpool so much and so close like we have been doing, it feels like a kick in the teeth. But listen, we moved. There was people talking about Grealish coming on. I've just read today that he was going to put him on if we'd scored another goal. He's only done a couple of days training. I think Pep needs bodies now. That game there, if Pep wants to see the game out, he brings Calvin Phillips on. Yeah, obviously he's injured. He brings him on if he's fit. Phillips, Rodri, De Bruyne, or Phillips, Rodri, Bernardo in the centre of mid there is enough energy to see that game out. Calvin Phillips, unfortunately with his injury record, we knew this before we signed him. We need to get him fit. We need to get him fit. We need to get him minutes, and we need to get him part of this squad. We've replaced Fernandinho with Phillips to do his job. Fernandinho, although he was 38 years old, he was available every week, and he was available to come on, calm the game down, see it out, get us over the line. Calvin Phillips isn't doing that now. The person underneath Calvin Phillips was Romeo Lavia. Romeo Lavia has gone to Southampton. So in hindsight, City fans were getting on it to me at weekend going, Steve, this Phillips is going to be injury prone and all that. Give him time. You know what I mean? It's early doors in the season. So hopefully Calvin Phillips, I know he's been training, can get some minutes soon and start gelling in this side and start using him right and getting him in there. So other than that, I made some notes. Game disappointing. What more can I say about a 1-1 at Aston Villa? You know what I mean? I'm disappointed. We should have got the win. But we was slow. We're not at the races. There's a few worrying signs in the City fan base at the minute. There's a few people starting to get a little bit worried that we're not really playing too well. And I get that. 3-1 down at Newcastle. We pull it back to 3-3. Should never have been in that position. That's a worry, conceding 3 to them. We got a point. 2-0 down at home to Crystal Palace. We're thinking same old City. We turn it round. We win 4-2. And then dropping 2 points at Villa. So I get it. I get the concern. I do. But we got Spurs coming up at the weekend. Big bogey side for us. Tottenham's done a number on us last couple of seasons. We need to put that right. I think we do look a little bit vulnerable on the counter-attack, I must admit. And Tottenham's game is the counter-attack. So we need to put that right. But I'm confident. We've not even got going yet. We've not even got out of second gear. All the City fans, we start slow. We've started slow this year, but we're getting points. That's the difference. We're not losing, we're getting points. We've changed our style of play a little bit. We've lost a bit of speed. We've lost Jesus, but we've gained Haaland. So it's going to take a little bit to get going. So all I'm saying is be patient with it. Give it another couple of weeks. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of games to go. There's definitely a big run coming up from us. You can see it. So anyway, that's my Aston Villa preview. 2 points dropped. Let me know in the comments what you think. We've got We Are the South Stand show coming up again on Friday. I might be bringing in Tottenham Toby. Going to speak about Spurs. I I've got some previews coming up this week with Expressions, whose box office. You don't want to miss that. Me and Expressions, we're going to be filming it live together, I think. So I'm going down to London this week for a bit of business. I'm not going to Seville. It came a little bit too early for me. I've got other things planned, so I'm absolutely gutted not to be in Seville. But we'll just touch on that. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Seville away. Going to be a tough game. Champions League is back. I think you might see Alvarez tomorrow. I think you might see Grealish tomorrow. We've got to start the group well, start the Champions League group well, get some points in Seville, ready for the Tottenham game at weekend. Get this memento going now. We've got to keep the faith. City fans, don't panic. I know we like to panic. I know we've got this Man City thing inside us, typical City. We say it all the time. It's in there and it's waiting to come out. A few of the guys coming out of the game at Villa Park, it had already come out, their heads had fell off and all that. Oh, we can't keep doing this. We've lost this and all that. I get that. But we did that last season. And look what happened. We started bad last season and we won the league. Champions again. So to all the Blues out there, chill out. To all the Blues out there that were making new songs up, I love it. I absolutely love it. I was in the pub and there was all new tunes going about Haaland. He was a Blue since he was 2. One about Alvarez. The Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones one, mint. I love all that. So everyone that's making them chants up, keep it going. And listen, people, I'll see everybody this week on the previews. I'll be back in Man City. I'll be putting my chest out there with Expressions. God knows how that's going to turn out because you know what he's like. And listen, we keep on moving, but I really appreciate everybody watching these videos. Please like it. It helps me a lot. I haven't done a lot of content. The algorithm was doing me in. But people bounced it back for me last week. Likes, comments, shares, any Man City groups that you're in. If they want a little 17-minute, 18-minute preview, turn it on, get yourself a brew, watch me, leave it in the comments, and listen, up the Blues, yeah, keep on fighting. Let's get that win in Seville, and we move to Tottenham. Come on, City.